This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. A family forced to pick up the pieces after their business went up in flames yesterday. Our news team spoke with Calvin Dean, owner of Bahamas Liquidation and Auction Center, the building that police reported to be on fire on the East-West Highway. Mr. Dean says he received word of the blaze in the wee hours of Wednesday morning.
We got a phone call from our customer around about 2:49 on Wednesday, stating that our warehouse was on fire. So we jumped up and proceeded to the store. By the time as we reached, there were 4 fire trucks on the scene, and the building was already engulfed.
He also tells Jcn News that watching the business that he ran with his family for almost 3 years burn to the ground was both shocking and numbing.
You put your sweat and tears financially, emotionally into a business, and just to sit by and watch it go up in flame, and there's literally nothing that you can do but watch it burn. And so it was very heartbreaking for us as the employee and as a family.
He says the family invested almost $250,000 into the business, and a little over $200,000 in inventory was lost. Fortunately, Mr. Dean says the business was insured and they do intend to rebuild.
We wait until the, lack of a better word, the smoke die down, and we are going to be like a phoenix stone. We would regroup, we would rebuild, and we want to be bigger and stronger.
Investigations into the source of the fire continue. In fact, Mr. Dean says he expects to be updated by the authorities in short order. Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson chiming in on a stabbing incident that took place yesterday at the A.F. Adderley Junior High School, where one male student was stabbed. At last report, 2 male students were in custody, assisting police with their investigations. Well, the BUT president says the union saddened by the stabbing of, quote, yet another young male student.
I really want to say to parents, I urge you to take quality time with your children, know their whereabouts, know their friends, give them guidance. We are losing too many of our youths to violence and crime.
She says this wasn't even the first incident at the school since they returned to face-to-face learning, adding that the teachers at AF Adderley are concerned for their safety.
So today they are sitting in and they will prepare a document for the administration and for the Ministry of Education, where they will highlight the concerns and they will also give recommendations on the way forward for safety on the school's campus.
She wishes the victim a speedy recovery and calls for rehabilitation and counseling for alleged perpetrators. Yesterday, National Security Minister Wayne Munro told parliamentarians in the House of Assembly that police intelligence say the students involved may be part of a gang. He adds that he, the police commissioner, and the deputy commissioner stand ready to put police in schools to avoid a reoccurrence. Meantime, the Royal Bahamas Police Force needs at least 900 police officers. National Security Minister Wayne Munro, in presenting the Commissioner of Police's Policing Plan 2022 in the lower chamber on Wednesday, said the RBPF is in need of additional manpower, and that's because 130 police officers exited the force in 2021 due to attrition factors, and additional 96 of the officers are expected to retire or commence pre-retirement leave at the end of 2022.
These retirement numbers are daunting given the fact that over the last 4 years, the force was unable to sustain recruitment levels to supplement the retirement losses. Notwithstanding, the force is in the process of a recruitment exercise to rebuild the strength of the force, which is deficient by an estimated 900 police constables. The financial cost for the expected 190 new hires is estimated at $3.42 million. Commissioner Roll has assured me that he will continue to realign the ranks of the force to efficiently manage the manpower resources at all police stations throughout the Bahamas.
Now, the police force currently has 2,654 sworn police officers, 900 reserves, for a total of roughly 3,500. Minister Monroe contends that is not enough and says that the public has a responsibility as well, calling for all to be force multipliers for the police.
To that end, the force will continue to recruit suitable persons into the police training college to enlist as recruit constables. The organization has placed a high priority on training and will continue to diversify its staff through the employment of university graduates with varying professional disciplines that will add value to the organization.
Minister Monroe says the force remains committed to providing policing services that are relevant to the changing policing environment. Bahamas Nurses Union President Amantia Williams says that the union's pleased with the news about additional registered nurses that were recently added to the mix of healthcare workers to assist with the shortage caused by the fourth wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, she wants government to ensure that Bahamian registered nurses are always top priority.
Having more manpower is an excellent idea. We all for it. The expectation from the Bahamas Nurses Union is that we want to ensure that the nurses that are graduating from UB have a job. And that's the most important thing to us, that we put Bahamians first, okay? And, we don't want just a country full of foreign persons when we have nurses that are here. And we have to find ways to keep our nurses here.
Nurse Williams telling our news team that the union has made a number of recommendations to the government to help with the retention of Bahamian registered nurses, while stressing that the country is in dire need of specialty nurses.
We are in dire need of psychiatric nurses, and that is a very particular illness that not much nurses want to go into. They rather ICU or to become a midwife, but we are saying that we need psychiatric nurses, and we need the help, because when you look at those wards and at SRC, which is Sandilands, sometimes you have 60 patients to probably 2 nurses. I'm provided they have support staff, but trained nurses, in their specialty is a plus.
Recently, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville said that Cabinet has approved the hiring of some 512 healthcare professionals, while an additional 50 specialty nurses are expected to arrive in the country in August this year. The health minister says his ministry has also recruited 10 allied health professionals from the Republic of Cuba who are expected to arrive next month. Farming and stronger food security is a topic at the top of the list for the Bahamas and CARICOM countries that rely on a vast amount of food imports from the USA, Asia, and Europe. But new technology like unmanned drones, usually associated with military operations, are fast becoming tools of the farm. And the Bahamas is determined not to be left behind, according to Phyllis Barron, the representative for the Organization of American States to the Bahamas. Introducing new technology like drones to the farm is a positive step in the right direction.
Well, actually, as you know, food security is a major issue in the region right now, and even more so with the war happening in Ukraine, and so that is going to increase the cost of food for our region. And you have these initiatives which can actually increase the production of food, and with the drones actually, or any form of technology, it's going to assist with the increased development of and production of food for our region. So that's a good initiative, actually.
In mid-March, Bluefields Farms, a 5-acre property in western New Providence that produces restaurant-quality salad, greens, and vegetables, gave a public demonstration as they introduced the use of drones to their farm. Marie Dunleavy, a representative of IECA and Bluefield Farms with expertise in aquaponics, believes the use for drones in farming can help the Bahamas overcome some of the logistical issues for farmers getting their products to the market.
The Bahamas imports up to 90% of their agricultural product, yet we have some of the best land resources and farming history in the region. And some of the most promising farming is in the Family Islands. However, we know that logistical realities and lack of innovation investment can make it a challenge for those farmers to produce enough and, more importantly, earn enough in agriculture. So with this IECA out-of-the-box thinking on how to leverage new technologies and address those unique logistical challenges that are, quite frankly, again, unique to the archipelago of the Bahamas, we turned our attention to the potential of drones.
In addition to delivering fertilizer and pesticides, drones can scan the soil for nutrient content and more. In the past, Bluefield Farms, with its staff of 10, have also built aquaponics systems at CV Bethel High and Stapleton Primary and have offered agricultural training in aquaponics to teachers. In the future, Bluefield Farms anticipates hiring drone pilots, mechanics, and scientists to make sense of the data generated by drones used on farms. The government of the Bahamas is in full support of the use of drones in farming. Well, one very determined young scout from Colorado has traveled more than 1,000 miles to plant trees here in the Bahamas. Margot Dempsey from Arvada, Colorado, is aiming towards achieving the highest rank in the Eagle Scout Service Project, a part of Scouts BSA, and she planted nearly 150 native trees and mangroves in 2 of the country's national parks. Jcn's Laurencia Smith had a chance to talk with Margot. Here she is with this next report.
16-year-old Margot Dempsey is a young woman on a mission, traveling more than 1,900 miles from the mountain state of Colorado. Margot recently came to the Bahamas planting more than 100 native trees from mangroves at the Bonefish National Park as she works towards the Eagle Scout Project rank, the highest rank in Scout BSA, formerly known as Boy Scouts of America. Passionate about the project, she explains to Jcn News why she traveled all the way from Arvada, Colorado, and how important the Eagle Scout Project is to her.
Which is defined as having a long-term impact on a community. And although some people may do something as small as a park bench or a trail, I decided to do something down here in the Bahamas, which is thousands of miles away from Colorado, because, you know, even though it's described as something in your community, I see the world as my community.
Within the last several years, the BSA has allowed girls to join the organization. Margot, a high school sophomore, is a proud member of Troop 2176. She's also earned the Silver and Bronze Duke of Edinburgh International Award, which is a part of the Gold Residential Project. Margot says she looks up to her older brother, who is also a member of the organization.
So Scouts has really had a large impact on me in my life, you know, even though I started only 3 years ago because that's when girls were let in. I feel like if it was able to start for me earlier, if I was able to join Cub Scouts, you know, I feel like I would have had so many more, you know, beneficial life experiences, and I would have learned so many more skills.
Margot, along with her family and volunteers from the United States Embassy and the Bahamas National Trust, planted 140 trees and mangroves between the Bonefish National Park and the New Providence Ecology Park over 2 days. Lindsay Knowles, a senior scientist at BNT, shares how important it is for these types of initiatives.
The Bahamas, we do have a great appreciation for our environment, and we depend heavily upon our marine environment to protect us and to provide food for us and nourishment for our souls. So taking an area that has been degraded and restoring it to a more pristine environment is actually good for not just the mind, body, and the soul, but for the whole country as a whole. We depend heavily on tourism, and tourism depends on basically the 3 S's, sun, sand, and sea. And all of those come from its connected to the environment. So
Margot has worked on the project for more than a year with other young women here in the country, representing the Sustainable Lifestyles and the Forestry Unit of the Bahamas in the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources. Best of luck to you, Margot, from Jcn News. I'm Laurencia Smith for Jcn News.
Thanks, Laurencia. Well, that does it for news this evening. Once again, I'm Leah Cooper, and from all of us here at JCN News, have a wonderful evening, everyone.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.